Kereisos Daf Yud Gimel. We learned the other day that if a person eats 2 half a kereisim, they are mitzdaref. You can combine them for 1 isser and he's chayiv a carbon. But how long does he have in order to eat these 2 half a kereisim in order to be chayiv? When it comes to isurei achila, such as nevela, chaylev, says the Tanakama Chachamim that he has the shear that it takes to eat a half a loaf of bread, chatzi pras, which is 4 eggs worth. However long it takes to eat 4 eggs, that's the allotted time that he has to eat these 2 kereisim. Rameir, who's more stringent, says he has the amount of time that it takes to eat a kazayis of kernels of grain, 1 by 1, which is a little bit longer. When it comes to being metame your guf with tumas oichlem, midrabanan, that you can't eat truma, so the shear is half of that. A half of a half a loaf of bread, a quarter of a loaf of bread, which is 2 kazaysim. And when it comes to liquids, the shear is a revius. Rav Noi says, an interesting halacha, which the Gemara is doicha. He says that you actually have the entire day, as long as every time you eat a kazayis of this chatzi pras, it's within a chatzi pras amount of time. The Gemara says, it says Mefurish in the Braisa, that the total shear is a half a pras. From beginning of your first achila to the end of your last achila, the entire process is 1 chatzi pras. Other halachas that are mentioned in the Braisa is that between the 2 chatzi zaysim that one eats, he should not go to the mikvah, because if he goes to the mikvah, we're choishesh that he might think that the mikvah was mitayr him. And in fact, if he eats another chatzi zayis after he went to the mikvah, it's mitzayr if the whole kazayis to mitameh. A woman who is pregnant could eat less than a shear at a time, eating less than shear, like we call today shiurim. Lechatchila, she could do this lechatchila when anybody else can't do lechatchila because of the sakana. We are choishesh for her uber for her fetus. A woman who touched another person who is a tmei meis. In other words, she is now a rishon l'tumah. She's allowed to nurse her son, and her son does not become tamei. Why? Because the son who drank the milk, we're not sure how much he drank. Perhaps he drank less than a shear of a revius, and even if he drank a revius, perhaps it was less than the allotted time that one has to drink the revius. When it comes to ziva and nida, there's 3 categories of liquids. There's the least metama, the one that's not metama at all, and that is waste, pus, and sweat. They have no chashivas at all, and therefore they're not metama at all. On the other end of the spectrum, you have liquids that are metama even with a drop, and that is the spittle of a woman, the ziva, and the urine. They are considered part of her body, and therefore the metama as her body bekolshul. There's another category which requires a full revius, and that is tears, blood from a wound, and milk. I just want to point out real quickly because the mefarshim on the daf, such as the art school, themselves don't bring this down, and there's an obvious question on the daf that over here we're saying that it takes a full revius to be metama a person of milk. Yet the Gemara brings the Mishnah that says that 1 drop of milk is metama an oven. The Goyin says there's a distinction between an oven and a human being. A human being takes a revius. The milk that a baby drinks is considered food. And what's a machsharit to be mekabel tuma, like all foods need a hefshel kabel tuma, says the Gemara, because every time a woman nurses, there's at least 1 drop that remains on her skin, and that is metama the rest. If milk comes out without any specification whether it's wanted or not wanted, we assume that the baby wants the milk and it's considered food. But if we know for a fact that the baby doesn't want it, then it's not considered food. If a person drinks a revius of wine and he goes into the Beis Hamikdash and he performs the avodah, he's chayiv misa. And if he drinks a revius of wine, it's also for him to paskin halacha. Rebbe Elazar says, and we paskin like Rebbe Elazar, that that's dafka if he drank it continuously, like one drinks in order to get drunk. But if he breaks it up, then he's allowed to paskin. And if he adds even 1 drop of water into the revius, he's allowed to paskin. And Rav said that the halach is like Rebbe Elazar. He called him Tovina de Chakime. He's the best of the Chachamim. And even so, Rav didn't paskin halachas after you drink, because he said Rebbe Elazar's halach is dafka by revius of wine. But if you drink more than a revius of wine, even if you add water to it, it's asur to paskin. And therefore, there's a story in the Gemara where Rav Achav Hutzal was madra hana from his wife. He said he doesn't want to benefit from his wife at all. And of course, he immediately came to regret that decision, and he went to Rav Ashi, that Rav Ashi should be matter him. And Rav Ashi said, I can't, because I just drank wine, even though I had water in it. I drink more than Rav Yis, I have to wait until tomorrow. Rav, who paskins that you're allowed to talk and learning after you drink wine, you just can't paskin halachas, he wouldn't give a shir after you drink, because during a shir there's always somebody that asks him a halach. Some say that you're allowed to paskin halachas from Mishnayos. According to everybody, you're allowed to paskin halachas that are mefurish in the Torah. But you're not allowed to assess money, erchin, and kachim. If wine is 40 days old, it's aged wine, and it's revius, that causes a chi of misa if you perform the avodah beis hamikdash. And there's still an isser to perform the avodah beis hamikdash if you drink even a mashu, and even if it's brand new wine, it's not aged. Rabbi Yehuda says there's an isser to perform the avodah even in other liquids, not only wine, anything that causes a person to be drunk. Have a wonderful day.